What if the reason you still feel drained, tense, or heavy after meals is not just age, but the quiet absence of one simple daily habit your body has been asking for all along? For many adults over 50, wellness no longer feels like a dramatic transformation. It feels more personal than that. It is about waking up with a little more ease, feeling calmer in your own skin, and moving through the day without that constant sense of strain that seems to build in the background. Tulsi leaves may seem small, almost too simple to matter, yet that is exactly what makes them so powerful. They do not arrive with noise. They work through consistency, through gentle daily support, through the kind of steady care that aging bodies often respond to best. And what makes Tulsi so fascinating is not just what it may do for stress or digestion, but how quietly it may help the body feel more balanced again. In this video, we are going to explore why so many people value Tulsi as a daily healthy living ritual, what kind of benefits it may gently support as you get older, and why this humble leaf could become one of the easiest wellness habits to keep. Because sometimes the most meaningful change does not begin with something extreme. It begins with something calm, natural, and surprisingly close to home. The real strength of Tulsi leaves begins with a problem many people over 50 know all too well, even if they do not always talk about it. The body no longer bounces back the way it used to. A restless night can throw off the next day. A heavy meal can sit too long. Stress that once felt manageable now seems to linger in the chest, the stomach, the shoulders, even in the quality of sleep. And little by little, many people begin to accept these changes as something they simply have to live with. But that is exactly where daily healthy living habits matter most. Tulsi leaves are not a magic answer, and they should never be treated like one. What makes them valuable is something much more realistic. They may offer gentle, steady support in the areas that often start to feel more fragile with age. Stress balance, digestion, daily resilience, and overall comfort in the body. That is why so many people return to Tulsi not for a dramatic overnight result, but for the quiet possibility of feeling a little better, a little calmer, and a little more supported each day. Let us begin with stress, because stress often sits underneath more problems than people realize. When the body is under constant pressure, even mild pressure, it can affect appetite, sleep, mood, focus, and energy. You may wake up tired, reach for something sugary or heavy to feel better, then later feel sluggish and unsettled. Tulsi has long been appreciated in traditional wellness practices for its potential to help the body respond more calmly to everyday stress. The benefit here is not about becoming drowsy or shutting down emotions. It is about support. It is about helping the body move away from a constant state of tension and toward a more balanced rhythm. And that matters deeply, especially for older adults, because the more balanced your stress response becomes, the easier it is to protect the other pillars of health. You sleep a little better. You digest food more comfortably. You may even have more patience to take that short walk, drink more water, or prepare a simple, nourishing meal instead of skipping it. Imagine a woman in her 60s who starts each morning feeling slightly anxious before the day even begins. She does not need a complicated health program. She needs one grounding ritual she can actually keep. So she starts her morning by steeping a few Tulsi leaves in hot water, sitting quietly for 5 minutes before touching her phone. That moment seems tiny, but over time it becomes an anchor. She is not only taking in the plant, she is creating a repeated signal of calm. And sometimes that repeated signal is exactly where healing begins. Another reason Tulsi is so widely valued is its connection to digestion. As people age, the digestive system often becomes more sensitive. Some notice bloating after meals. Others feel heaviness, gas, reduced appetite, or that unpleasant feeling of food just sitting too long. Digestion is not a small issue. It shapes how light or burdened the entire day feels. When digestion is off, energy can dip, movement feels harder, and sleep may also suffer. Tulsi may gently support digestive comfort, and while that might sound modest, the effect can be surprisingly meaningful in everyday life. When the stomach feels calmer, the whole body often feels calmer. That means fewer interruptions, less discomfort after eating, and a better chance of staying consistent with balanced meals. Think of a man in his late 50s who often eats too quickly, then spends the afternoon feeling bloated and tired. He is not looking for some dramatic cleanse. He simply begins chewing a few clean Tulsi leaves after lunch, or drinking Tulsi tea in the late afternoon instead of reaching for another cup of strong coffee. Slowly, he notices that his stomach feels lighter, and because he feels lighter, he moves more in the evening. He takes a walk after dinner. He sleeps a bit better. The benefit did not come from Tulsi alone. It came from Tulsi helping him feel well enough to support other good habits. That is the key idea many people miss. One healthy habit often unlocks another. Tulsi may also be appreciated for how it fits into immune support and everyday resilience. As we grow older, many of us become more aware of how much energy it takes simply to stay well and recover from periods of fatigue or stress. The body benefits from support that is gentle, consistent, and realistic. Tulsi has long been associated with helping the body's natural defenses, and while it should never be treated as a replacement for medical care, it can become one small, meaningful part of a strong daily foundation. The solution here is not to rely on one leaf to do everything. The solution is to use Tulsi as part of a lifestyle that includes balanced meals, hydration, gentle movement, and enough rest. The benefit of that kind of routine is not just fewer bad days. It is a stronger sense of steadiness. It is waking up and feeling that your body is not fighting you quite as much as it used to. That kind of everyday resilience is priceless. And Tulsi supports this beautifully because it is so easy to live with. That may sound simple, but simplicity is often what determines whether a healthy habit lasts. Many people abandon wellness routines because they are too expensive, too restrictive, or too exhausting to maintain. Tulsi does not ask for much. It can be taken as tea, added fresh to warm water, blended gently into certain meals, or chewed in small amounts depending on personal preference and tolerance. That makes it approachable. It becomes less like a treatment and more like a companion habit, something woven naturally into real life. And that is important for aging bodies, because the goal is not intensity. The goal is sustainability. A small habit practiced every day is often far more powerful than a perfect routine practiced for only 1 week. There is also an emotional layer to Tulsi that should not be ignored. Many people think healthy living is only about nutrients, steps, or sleep hours. But health is also emotional. It is about whether you feel cared for, whether your routine gives you moments of peace, whether your day includes even one act that tells your body, "I have not forgotten you." Tulsi can become that kind of act. A warm cup in the evening can feel like a message to the nervous system that the day is slowing down now. A few leaves in the morning can feel like a reset instead of a rush. The problem so many adults face is not a lack of information. It is a lack of sustainable rituals that feel comforting enough to continue. Tulsi offers one of those rituals. The solution is not perfection. It is repetition with care. The benefit is not only physical support, but a deeper sense of connection to your own body again. Here is where everyday example matters most. Picture someone in their 70s who has begun to feel that health has become complicated and discouraging. There are too many rules, too many warnings, too many products claiming miracles. So instead of trying to change everything, they choose one gentle practice. Each evening after dinner, they prepare a cup of Tulsi tea, step outside for 10 quiet minutes, and let that become the closing rhythm of the day. Over weeks, that ritual begins to change more than expected. Because they drink tea, they snack less at night. Because they step outside, their mind settles. Because their mind settles, sleep becomes a little easier. And because sleep improves, the next morning feels less heavy. This is how real healthy living often works. Not through one shocking result, but through quiet chains of improvement that begin with one habit simple enough to repeat. That is why Tulsi leaves deserve attention. Not because they promise something flashy, but because they fit the real needs of people who want to age with more calm, more balance, and more dignity. They may help support a calmer stress response, gentler digestion, stronger daily resilience, and a more grounded routine. Most of all, they remind us of something easy to forget. The body often responds beautifully to small acts of care done consistently. And when a simple leaf helps create that consistency, the results can feel surprisingly powerful, not all at once, but little by little, day by day, in the places that matter most. Here is the shift that changes everything. Tulsi is not just about what it adds to your routine, it is also about what it gently replaces. It can replace the rushed morning, the mindless extra cup of something too strong, the anxious reaching for comfort when your body is really asking for calm. And that is where many people begin to notice something unexpected. The real power of Tulsi may not come from one dramatic benefit. It may come from the way it helps create a different rhythm in the body. A slower breath, a lighter stomach, a quieter evening, a softer landing after a stressful day. So instead of asking only, what happens if I eat Tulsi leaves every day? Maybe the better question is this. What changes when I finally give my body one gentle act of support every single day? Because for many adults over 50, the body is not demanding perfection. It is asking for consistency. It is asking for less force and more care. That is why the smallest habits can become the most powerful ones. A few Tulsi leaves in the morning, a warm cup in the afternoon, a quiet pause before bed. These moments may seem too simple to matter, but simple is often exactly what the nervous system trusts. And when the body begins to trust the rhythm of your care, it often responds in ways that feel subtle at first, then meaningful, then impossible to ignore. More ease after meals, more steadiness in mood, a little less heaviness in the day. Sometimes the true healing moment is not when you try harder. It is when you stop overwhelming yourself and begin supporting your body in ways it can actually receive. So here's what to remember. Tulsi leaves may help support a calmer response to daily stress, more comfortable digestion, and a stronger sense of balance in everyday life. But the deeper benefit may be the ritual itself, the quiet decision to care for your body in one steady, realistic way. That is how long-term healthy living is built, not through extremes, but through small actions the body can lean on again and again. If this spoke to you, let me know in the comments how you would use Tulsi in your day, morning, afternoon, or evening. And if you believe simple habits can still change how we age, save this video and follow for more gentle, practical, healthy living tips designed for real life. And when a simple leaf helps create that consistency, the results can feel surprisingly powerful, not all at once, but little by little, day by day, in the places that matter most.